We've looked at making equivalent fractions and we've looked at simplifying fractions. We're now going to have a look at different types of fractions and give them names. So we're looking at proper fractions, improper fractions and mixed numbers. Proper fractions, well, they're the ones that we've dealt with so far where the numerator is smaller in value than the denominator. So for instance, 1/2, 1 is smaller than 2, 3/4, 3 is smaller than 4. Mixed numbers are where the number is a mixture of a whole number and part of a whole number. So for instance, 2.5, which is a decimal number, can be written as a fraction as 2.5. So if you have a look at my diagrammatic representation here, I have 2.5 circles shaded. If I wanted to do the same for 1 3/4, shade the bits that I'm interested in, well, there's one whole circle shaded and 3 parts out of 4 of the remaining circle. So that's my mixed number of 1 3/4. So now we're going to look at the improper fractions. This is a fraction where the numerator, that is the number on top, is larger than the denominator, which is the number on the bottom. And the best way to demonstrate that is to go back to 2.5 and ask how many halves are there in 2.5. So if I take my shaded 2.5 circles, how many halves do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 halves in 2.5. So that means I can write 2.5 as 5 halves. How do I change that mixed number of 2.5 into the improper fraction of 5/2? I say 2 times 2 is 4, add 1 is 5. So 2.5 changed from a mixed number to an improper fraction is 5/2. So now let's look at 1 3/4. How many quarters are there in 1 3/4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 quarters in 1 3/4. So we can say that 1 3/4 can be written as 7/4. How do we turn 1 3/4 into 7/4? 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So the mixed number 1 3/4 becomes 7/4. So now let's write 5 7/8. There it is, 5 7/8 as a mixed number. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 7 is 47, so it becomes 47/8 as a mixed number. How do we get back to the original mixed number from the improper fraction? You divide 8 into 47. 8 goes into 47 5 times with 7 left over. So 8 divides into 47 5 times. 8 fours are 40, so there's 7 left over. 5 7/8. So changing between mixed numbers and improper fractions. To go from the mixed number to the improper fraction, multiply the whole number by the denominator and then add the part number. And to go in the other direction from the improper fraction to the mixed number, just divide normally by the denominator. So we're going to finish off just by practicing a few of those. We've got a table to complete here, changing between mixed numbers and improper fractions. So we begin with 2 2/5. Multiply the whole number by the denominator, so 2 multiplied by 5 is 10, plus the 2 is 12, so we've got 12/5 as an improper fraction. 11/4. How many wholes do we have there? 4 divided into 11 is, I think it's 2, isn't it? 2, and 3 left over, so 2 3/4. 1 7/8 is an improper fraction. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 7 is 15, so 15/8. And the next table, 18/7. It's an improper fraction, changing it to a mixed number. 18 divides into 7 twice, and there's 4 left over, so therefore 7ths. 10 2/3. I'll write it down, see if you get the same. 32/3. The next one, just be a bit careful of this one. 25/15. As a mixed number will become 1 10/15. Now you should see that the part number there, the part fraction 10/15, can be simplified. 10 and 15 have a common factor, so you can actually rewrite that one as 1 2/3. 5 divides into 10 twice and into 15 3 times. So we've done quite a bit in today's lecture, so you really will need to go to your study guide and do some practice with the exercises, and I'll catch up with you again in week 4 when we will look at operations with fractions. I'll see you then.